All right, you guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Civic Mandate. Guys, I'm so excited for this episode. This is the first episode in our series called Mandate Generation Rising, where we bring on all sorts of young conservatives and we talk about the major social issues, political issues, all of that. So this is definitely opinion politics. So if you're just here for the history, totally understand it. But if you do want to hear some more of these political opinions of me and some of my friends, then definitely make sure to hop on. Guys, this is going to be a weekly series. We're going to hope to stream it at some point. Either way, super excited to get into it, and I hope you guys are too. So remember to like and subscribe, share it with your friends. We really appreciate it. All right, let's get straight into it. All right, guys. So I'm very happy to be joined today by Seth and Lane. How are you guys doing? You ready for an episode today?
Let's
Doing
get it,
well.
man. Let's get it.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us on, man.
Of course. I'm really looking forward to this show. I'm hoping at some point we can turn it into maybe a live stream where we can answer questions from viewers. But for now, I do not have the viewership for that. So we're just gonna shoot some questions. So we're starting off with a very hot topic. Let's go with Nick Fuentes. So I have a lot of friends who are pretty interested in him. I personally think some of his views are a bit extreme. I can understand where he's coming from. I can see how the pendulum is sort of swinging back. Obviously, he appeals a lot to younger men who have been told for years and years and years, you're evil, you're toxic, go away. So he's kind of appealing to that side of men. But beyond that, I don't really watch his stuff very much. So Seth, I'll have you go first.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I'm a avid Fuentes watcher. I do watch some of his streams, and that, to speak on this, 50,000 people watch him almost daily. So it's not like he doesn't have a platform. He has a very big platform. A lot of people do watch him. But what's happening right now is you're seeing, I guess it would be the MAGA base, I don't want to say neoconservatism base, trying to isolate, his group, trying to shut him down. Some of what he says is extreme. I don't agree with it, with some of it, but I think his idea of America first is there. I agree with some of it, but I think what we're seeing in talking about the election, we'll talk about it later, I'm sure, but you saw yesterday, young men, young Gen Z men are being isolated right now. And he's been a big vocal leader for the men, especially young Gen Z. So I don't think, I think instead of isolating, they should listen, because men have proven to win the election. So I think that the MAGA base needs to start listening to the men.
Yeah, I think I agree too. Lane, I know you.
I'm probably the least informed on Nick Fuentes, but I think he's probably right on some foreign policy stuff. But I mean, I'm not very informed on him. All I've seen is a lot of bad stuff, so I'm sure there's not all bad.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think the major thing that I do agree with Nick Fuentes on is his foreign policy and his hate for any sort of like foreign lobby. I think I definitely agree with him most strongly on that. But I think it's kind of leads us into our next question, which is, and Seth, you kind of hit on it. Why is the right splintering? So obviously they are splintering over the Nick Fuentes question to kind of name one. And I like how you kind of defined a nice barrier there, where it's the neocons kind of criticizing the one could call them more far right. I think of myself as a traditional conservative. I don't think of myself as a neocon, or maybe I don't really identify with like the more extreme side of the right, at least what I would consider more extreme. But why is this happening? Why are they splintering now of all times? I mean, one would think like we have Trump in office, we should be more unified than ever, but instead we're having issues on some of the smallest things.
Yeah, that's that's a great point. I think why it's happening is because when Trump came in around 2016 and he said the words "America first," people thought that his goal was to end the wars. Obviously, all of this, conflict, whether it's in the Middle East, elsewhere, would all end. And now you're seeing that you know, Israel's continuing to do what they're doing in the Gaza Strip, and you have a lot of conservatives. You have the Randy Fines of the world, even Fox News, Karl Rove, the Bruce Levins. They're pushing Israel that they must destroy Palestine. They must just destroy all of it. It's their strip, and that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing that the pro-Israel group is isolating anyone that disagrees with them, and then when the people are like, "Hey, I voted for Trump because he said America first," I thought what happened? Where are you guys going? Why are you leaving us? And now they're like, "Well, no, this is America first, but Israel's aren't we? It must be Israel first as well." And I think that's what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a big split in the America first side, and I think that people are saying, "Hey, listen, you're not practicing what you preached, and you've went against what you said you were going to sought out to do, and it's not happening right now."
Yeah, I think I've started to notice the same thing. I think I'm going to push back on that a little bit. I think the difference is it's a completely different interpretation of what America First means. I have heard I was a Ben Shapiro fan at one point. It wasn't too far back in the future. I was a Ben Shapiro, and I've heard him say America First. It starts with like protecting our foreign interests. And now I obviously disagree with that. I don't think that's true at all. I clean up your own house before you go deal with stuff in someone else's house. But I I think in the end, the major contention is not that they're all of a sudden not supporting the idea of America First. I think they just have a completely different idea of what America First is.
Right.
So I think is kind of I think that Trump kind of came in at this pivotal moment where he kind of pulled everyone together under this banner of America First, and I think it's all going to kind of fall apart once he does leave.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? What is going to happen when Trump, he runs out of he's going to be out of a term very soon, and regardless of what any of his White House strategists say, he's not running for a third term.
No, he's
That's
not.
yeah. There's no way he's running for a third
I'm
term.
pretty sure a few days ago he rolled out a run. I've heard him roll out a run a few times, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's just trying to keep people guessing. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he'll run.
Well,
I think
I think what he's doing, and someone has raised this point. I think he's touting and talking about a third term to try to make it's a psychological reason to try to make this term even better. It's a psychological reasoning, I think, behind this. But before we move completely on, I do want to say that the Nick Fuentes is the Candace Owens, the anti-Semitic comments have to stop. It absolutely has to stop. I want to say that before we move on.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree, and I think if they could recognize that and they could at least concede that simple point, because of course they say, well, maybe I am anti-Semitic. Yeah, actually you kind of are. And look, I think that races have stereotypes. I think that's just a fact, and we're never going to get beyond that. But there is a point where it's like, no, that's just blatantly anti-Semitic. Not all Jews are not evil. That's not true. Now, you might disagree with the state of Israel, and that's a completely different matter. I think Tucker talked about this when he had Nick Fuentes on. He was like, Tucker was like, look, I disagree with the state of Israel and their stance on a lot of stuff, but I don't hate Jews. Like, I still like Jews,
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we maintain that distinction. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree, and that's where we've lost our way, and it's kind of sad to see, and it's going to lose us elections absolutely, and then you're going to have a Zoran Mamdani who's going to win, and it's going to be a point of no return.
yeah,
I saw a poll that showed it was 49%, maybe about 50% of New York City voters yesterday. Like a top issue was stance on Israel for New York City, right? Yes.
which is
I
kind
could
of
see that. I could see that because I believe the Muslim population has grown, and there is definitely that Jewish population as well there. So I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of crazy that would matter in a New York City election. I think that just goes to show how much of our political environment is just like political rhetoric now. Like none of it actually really matters. So
Right.
it's not about who's going to do the best job. It's going to be who says stuff that I like to hear.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
So
100%.
but I think we should definitely kind of hit on the issues that will come when, when Trump does leave office, and he's kind of the glue right now that's holding MAGA together. I think Charlie was kind of the logical successor to that, to kind of hold all of MAGA together. Now, obviously, he's gone. Thanks, Democrats. And
Unbelievable.
I know. I mean, we can get into that too, but maybe later. But I'm just curious. Do you think anyone's going to step up and take on the mantle of MAGA, or is it going to kind of disintegrate into these like factions that we're seeing? And even the Democrats have some of that too right now.
My honest prediction is that it goes into factions. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't see a clear leader. Just because right now, I got into politics around 2015. I originally wanted Hillary Clinton because I was brainwashed. Well, she's a woman, so she'll automatically be great. But I think that I can't envision a Republican Party without Trump, if that makes sense. I can't envision it, so I don't know yet. I can't predict it. I don't see anything. I'm not envisioning it.
The hope is that Vance would win in 2028, and then maybe he could hold the coalition together. But if he loses or somebody else loses,
I have my doubts about that one.
Yeah, I know you do, and you can share your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do kind of agree. There is really no logical successor to the MAGA movement. Like Vance, I'm kind of hopeful about Vance, but I mean, like you said, Seth, I kind of share your your concern on that. I don't know if he's ready for it, really. I think he's a great guy. Like, genuinely, I think he's based. Some of the stuff he said is super based. But I can't see him taking on the Donald Trump role. It's kind of funny. Donald Trump creating this MAGA movement, he's almost the only one who can run it, and kind of like keep everyone together, especially like with Elon and stuff. I mean, I think at this point we've probably lost the tech bros. I don't think they're with us.
Yeah. No.
So I mean, we're already seeing it fall apart under Trump. So I think either way, this is kind of a short-lived movement. I had hopes that it would continue, but
I don't see it. And another point I want to raise is, I don't know who carries that on. The reason I don't think it would be Vance, and this is a reason I was just thinking of, was when you had Obama and then Hillary Clinton was what they hoped was going to be that successor. The thing with Trump now is he came in and he was anti-establishment. Obviously, I mean, in my opinion, Obama and Hillary Clinton were pro-establishment. So the people were like, well, we just had Obama who was pro-establishment. Hillary Clinton, who's been in politics for forever, she's pro-establishment. We want something different. Let's vote Trump. Well, now when you have those two terms now with Trump, I don't know if people are going to want the same thing again. I honestly, I don't know if it'll go back to the old school conservatism. I don't see that. I don't see a Vance because of that reason. People don't want something to continue. They want it to be, they want different. They want something different.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree. I think a lot of people, especially, Gen Z men, they're starting to realize like this system is not made to support me. This system is not looking out for me.
Yeah.
And I think they recognize that a change needs to be made because they're not being appreciated in this system. Their views are not being represented in this system. And I think we're going to see at the very least an ideological revolution of sorts with Gen Z men leading the charge. I think Gen Z women still have some work to get there. I don't think they're nearly there yet, but I definitely think Gen Z men are starting to wake up.
Yeah, I would agree. And honestly, speaking as a Gen Z man, honestly, in my honest opinion, when it comes to my role in politics, I feel like I don't have a voice. I feel like my opinion doesn't matter. And that's an unfortunate place to be in. And it's even more unfortunate when the party that you support is the ones doing it the most.
Yeah. Well, it's like, who can you vote for that would represent you? Like, I don't know, Thomas Massey?
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Honestly, that he would probably appeal to us more than anyone else in the Republican Party. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
if
I agree.
If you guys had to handpick a president and a vice president of your choice, who would you pick?
It would be Youngkin and Rubio for me.
Youngkin Rubio.
For me, it'd be Vance Hawley.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I say Rubio Youngkin, actually. I'm gonna flip that around.
I like that, yeah.
I said that last night. I think I'd see Rubio being president. Actually, I could see Vance Youngkin. I think it'd be better.
Vance Youngkin. I don't think
Vance
Vance would
Youngkin.
ever pick Youngkin.
I don't think he would either, but if I could pick, I think those two would be good pairs.
That's who you go with. Because I think it's going to be whoever on this side. I think it's going to be Newscomb versus AOC.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't see anyone else. I think we'd win that, honestly.
What we
I don't
have
think
seen
Newsom
last night, and this is just the test amongst or Democrats. The test was, will people support socialism? And they did. So
yeah.
now they know who they can pick and who they can't.
Yeah, 100%. So if we do want to go over what happened last night, at least at the time of this recording, last night was election night, and we saw the 2025 election cycle. We had New Jersey, New York City, and Virginia. So we lost everything. It was really bad. So New York City now has a socialist, we're just going to call him communist because that's basically what he is. Now is a communist mayor.
Claims he's a democratic socialist, but he's further left than Bernie.
Yeah.
There's a murderer or someone who wants to murder Republicans as the attorney general in Virginia. And yeah, we lost all the governor's races and all that sort of stuff. So last election night was pretty bad. Do you guys think this is indicative of what's going to happen in the midterms 2028? Does this actually matter, or is it just some stupid off year?
Lane, you want to go first on this?
Yeah, I do think it might have some indicative on the midterms. Now, Republicans don't turn out in off-year elections at all.
No.
They don't. I can't even remember the last time they did well. 2022, we lost. 2021, okay, that year, I guess. But it's very uncommon. So I think we keep the Senate in 2026, and I think we lose the House probably. But I think it'll be a Democratic year, like +3 or something, or +4. 2028, I don't think it will because people will turn out.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. Some of that for sure.
Yeah. I think that kind of gets to like the earlier question too, which is with Trump leaving in 2028, who is going to get the people out to vote? I mean, we saw first-time voters, so many first-time voters, not just young people, coming out to vote in 2024. I just don't know if anyone else in the Republican Party can even do that.
I mean, that was obviously helped by Turning Point USA and
it's true.
Trump campaign. But I don't know. It's very hard to get that many low propensity voters out to vote like they did in 2024.
Donald Trump Jr. What? Honestly, Barron. We should get Barron out. Barron should run for office.
Yes. But speaking of last night, if it's indicative of what's to come, I don't know. It's definitely something to look at. Virginia was headed they were in a great place. Youngkin really had it going. He even had a 57% approval rating, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think what the issue is with Republicans, and it's continued to be the issue, and it's never been solved. Candidates, they don't know how to choose candidates. Sears that campaign run was just terrible. It might be worse than Mark Robinson's, honestly.
Seth, I don't know what you mean. She was out there flipping pancakes with Youngkin. That was great.
I mean, yeah, but her messaging was off. It was she didn't know how to draw a line in the sand, and that's what Youngkin was able to do. He was able to talk about school. He was able to talk about what he's being taught. She just, the same old conservative message that everyone hears. Oh, your life is horrible right now, but it'll get better with me. People don't want to hear that. It's the same message, and I don't think she was able to get off of that.
Yeah,
I think a lot of last night's results in general were indicative of partisan voting, which is not uncommon, but it's been becoming more common in the 2020s. But like, if you look at some of the polling, there was a New Jersey poll for governor. 50% of New Jersey voters said they wanted their governor to help Trump with ICE, and then they voted for a governor that wanted to keep New Jersey a sanctuary city or sanctuary state. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Huh. Yeah. Well, so maybe the problem is just Republicans aren't getting out and voting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an issue.
That's probably it. That is definitely an issue. I'm sure they, like you said, they don't vote unless if it's the big game, the big election. And that's
Yeah.
unfortunate, really.
Yeah, I think that's
it's
part of the reason I don't feel like this is indicative of what's going to happen in 26 or 28, because Republicans historically don't ever really come out in big numbers in off years. So
my concern, and I do want to say this real quick, and then you can move. My concern with this is not that the Democrats won. They won 3 liberal states. Congratulations. Okay. It's who won. It's the candidates that won. These people aren't your average Democrat. These are socialists here. This is something we haven't seen before.
Mhm.
And these people beat the tire out of Republicans, and I thought Chiatrelli had a chance. But these Democrats or these socialists went in and they cleaned house and they just beat the tire out of the Republicans. So that goes to show you where the Democrat Party is headed.
Yeah. I mean, Mikey Farrell and Abigail Spanberger, they were the 2 that won in Virginia and New Jersey. They're more centrist Democrats. They're not like socialist or anything. And they basically just ran on opposing Trump and the economy.
Yeah.
Spanberger ran a lot on the federal cuts by Doge because there's a lot of federal workers in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
So
I will say,
I think
the economy and if the cost of living is the same right now, if in 2026, Republicans will absolutely get destroyed.
Yeah.
Trump has got to do the things that he promised. Promises made have not been kept. And as much as I voted for him, I like him. I think he has good intentions. He's got to wake up. He has to wake up.
I think one issue with Trump sometimes is he sees a bad poll. I'm just like he'll see a bad poll and then he'll just kind of ignore it, which is kind of concerning and sometimes hurts him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree, especially with the socialist point. Like, a lot of people here, obviously I'm here in Oregon. It's a very blue state, but I've heard so many people like, why does it matter? Why should I care? It's all the way on the other side of the country. And I'm like, well, if it can happen in New York City, it can happen here, especially here in Oregon.
10% of our economy. So.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it is like kind of the capital of the world in a way. Like, it's one of the biggest cities in the world. So I think that honestly kind of gets to the next question, which is New York City cooked? Are they cooked under Mamdani, or will Hochul sign off on all of this crazy stuff Mamdani wants to do, like government ran grocery stores, freezing the rent, taxing the rich? I mean, I think the rich are already leaving at this point. But what do you guys think?
What is today? Is today the Wednesday, November 5th?
Yeah.
New York City is done. It's over. It will not recover. It won't recover. And I'll tell you why. This guy's going to get in there. He's not going to do a single thing that he promised. And you know what's funny? The New Yorkers are going to keep voting him. They're going to keep voting him, and they're done. I think New York City is going to collapse.
Yeah. I mean, did you see the stock market this morning or yesterday? Even yesterday.
It's we're in trouble.
Yeah.
They're in trouble, I guess. But like you said, it affects all.
Cooked.
Yeah. I wonder if Wall Street tries to move out.
I have a bit of a different perspective. I think Hochul will make it less worse. I don't know why I think that and why I have faith in Kathy Hochul. I probably shouldn't, but she's already seemed a little bit off. She said in an interview with a moderate Democrat after one of the rallies, she said she did not want to raise taxes on the wealthy like Mamdani did. She said you should not see a rally and think she's just going to rubber stamp everything. So I don't know. That's what kind of made me think she might. And in general, Albany, obviously, Mamdani will need Albany, which is where the New York capital is, to do a lot of the things he wants to do. And I don't know if they'll rubber stamp it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of agree because I don't know that much about Kathy Hochul, but she seems to not be like a crazy far left ideological to me.
No, she's more of a more of a, hey, I'm governing the whole state. I have to be somewhat normal.
But the
Yeah.
thing is with
Well,
Democrats is you don't get Fettermans very often. If something's working for
true.
them, they're not going to go against it.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this last night during the election coverage, but like Mamdani will not be able to win a statewide election in New York. I mean,
No.
upstate New York is not going to support him. So I think you're right. I think Kathy Hochul might kind of be boxed into a corner where her constituents are like, yeah, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe don't let him start government-run grocery stores. So, I mean, maybe he does get in there and he's just like not able to do any of the stuff he promised, and then people are kind of pissed off at him.
Yeah,
One can hope.
that would be the
Yeah.
hope. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have my doubts, and I'm not buying the Hochul thing. I think she'll approve anything he wants.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think the Democrat Party's kind of at a crossroads right now where they need to decide where they're going to go, what direction they're going to go. Are they going to follow kind of the more socialist vibe? Or appealing to the sort of like, oh, look how bad you're. I think it's actually kind of a good strategy right now because Trump's in office.
Yeah.
They can just as easily say, look how the system, Trump's using the system to like to make your life worse. Here's how we're going to fix it. We're going to introduce socialism or socialist aspects. I think that's not a horrible strategy. Well, I think it's horrible in the sense that it's
Yeah.
going to destroy America, but it's not a horrible strategy right now for the Democrats, especially because they're like wandering in the wilderness. I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for it and just go full in on all these socialist ideas.
I gotta say this. I'm sorry. This is so funny. This was hilarious to me. I was I was watching Zoran's. He made a video today. And he was talking about, well, we won. Thank you so much. And yesterday, his victory speech. I mean, my gosh, that sounded like a Nazi rally, really.
Oh,
Wait
a minute.
But he made a video today. It was hilarious. He was talking about winning and everything. He was like, and you know what? To do all this, to change the infrastructure, to get my campaign team, I need you to donate to me. Socialist asking for me. How ironic.
That's crazy.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Mamdani seems to be operating under the belief that Albany will just rubber stamp whatever he does, and maybe that's true. I don't know, but I still think they got a lot of moderate Democrats in the state legislature, and the governor is more of a moderate. So I don't think he's going to be able to do everything, but he's going to be able to do some stuff.
Yeah, I think time will tell. Time will tell what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think we're able to really make any confident guesses yet. I did think it was interesting, just kind of to get back to the actual election. I'm honestly surprised Cuomo got as many votes as he did with his bad record. Like, I understand. I think the disappointing thing was how many Republicans voted for him. There was no chance Cuomo was winning anyways. Even if Sliwa dropped out, I think it was kind of disappointing to see all the Republicans voting for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because Cuomo, he was so bad. He's so bad on abortion. He was bad during COVID. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing with Mamdani, because he had the momentum every step of the way, because he's so different, his beliefs are so different, something we haven't seen in a while, is I just don't know a candidate that could have beaten him in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I totally agree. But I think that does kind of I know we're kind of bouncing around today, but it gets into Gen Z men again. You do see kind of this same change factor that you're talking about, where it's like he's just so different. He appeals maybe not exactly to Gen Z men, but at the very least to Gen Z, who is kind of coming up into this world and realizing, dang, this world sucks, and they're trying to find a solution. I think they're either finding a solution at one end of the spectrum or at the other. I don't see many Gen Zers that are just like, oh, I'm apathetic about politics. Almost all of them have quite an opinion on it. Yeah. And of course, that's fueled by social media and all the stuff that they're interested in these days. So,
yeah, I would agree with that. That's absolutely true. It's just, there's a lot of Gen Z men and Gen Z, I guess, in general, is just kind of scared to speak their opinion right now. It's sad to see.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So get into another topic. I know we touched briefly on it, but the 2026 midterms, Lane, you gave your prediction. What'd you say?
Yeah.
We're lose
We're going
4?
to keep the Senate, and I think we'll lose the House.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're trying to do the redistricting thing to win the House, but I don't know if it'll work.
Yeah. I think it has a chance to work, honestly. I think if they do it right, if they play it right, it might actually work. But yeah, but I think
Ohio needs to.
yeah.
Ohio
I
and Kansas need to redistrict.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Seth is right though when he talks about like Trump needs to lower the cost of living if he wants to have any chance of the 2026 midterms. Because right now, I think a lot of the Republican base is kind of starting to lose faith in him. I mean, this kind of gets into like the foreign policy stuff, but like Trump is really weighing in on the foreign policy right now. I mean, he's doing like, manifest destiny, like Venezuela. Like I can get behind that more than Israel and stuff like that. But I just, especially in the last few weeks, I have not heard really anything that is good domestically. Maybe it's just me.
I haven't either. I
Probably
haven't heard
partially.
much good yet. It's only a
Mhm.
year. I think today marks the year, but I don't know. I don't know what's this hasn't been the same. He doesn't have the stamina. It doesn't seem like maybe he'll get that, but right now it's just been very mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's right. If he's not on the ballot, we lose. But the thing is, at this point, he's not done anything he said he was going to do. I mean, most of this he said he would do on day one, and we've yet to see it.
Yeah.
We've yet to see it.
I mean, I think just to kind of start off, like there are some really good things that he did with the executive orders in the first couple months, but I've been like hearing like a lot of that stuff's getting stuck up in the courts,
Yeah.
and some of it just like simply just isn't in his jurisdiction to do. So, in terms of domestically, I think what I've liked that he's done is like the transgender stuff. He's been good on the transgender issue, especially with sports, things like that.
Yeah. That's probably his best
But
thing.
yeah, but I think he needs to do something about the economy right now
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
economy is shot. I mean,
Yeah.
here in Oregon, gas is like, what was it yesterday? It was like 4.15
Yeah,
a gallon.
it's not gone down. And I'm in Missouri. It's not gone down.
Yeah, it's absurd. It hasn't happened, and I don't know why. Maybe it has to do with some of his advisors because I know his advisors are very like foreign facing.
Yeah, I can
They
see
do
that.
care a lot more about foreign aspects of the war, and I think it's important that we do worry about stuff like that, but not at the detriment of our stuff back here at home.
Yeah,
Curious.
I think
what's
I
your
think the
guys'
government.
opinion?
Sorry.
Oh, so I was just gonna ask your guys' opinion on Scott Bessent. You know who he is?
Treasury Secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, personally, I don't know too much about him. I haven't seen anything crazy come out about him. Yeah, I honestly, I'm indifferent.
I think it was he beefed with Elon a little bit, but that's really all I know about
I think
him.
I remember hearing. Well, it was about Doge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the guy of? Is it Sean Duffy? Is he transportation?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
transportation.
Sean Duffy has been my favorite so far. Transportation has been great. I think I believe that.
Yeah, well, except did you see with the government shutdown, something like 10% of I just saw this on my phone, 10% of airlines are going to.
Yeah, I did see that, but I don't know. That's another thing too. The government shutdown's a joke. I do blame the Democrats. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I do blame the Democrats. But hey, Trump. Hey. I hate to burst your bubble, buddy, but you do realize you have the two chambers, right?
I mean, he
that's not
still
an excuse.
He still needs 60 votes.
Yeah, but I get that. But the thing is he's making excuses. The Democrats are doing this. Democrats are doing that. This is the best he's going to get. He's got both chambers. This is the best it's going to get for him.
He probably should. I think he should.
And I will say, isolating Thomas Massey and Rand Paul probably isn't the smartest move to make. I'm not going to lie.
No, I agree. No, I totally agree. I think that's Trump's problem. He just attacks anyone who doesn't
on one issue. It'll be on one small issue, and he'll just destroy your career. It's just listen, man, you got to listen to what they have to say because not everyone's going to agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. I think that the government shutdown generally is the Democrats' fault, but I think at this point it's not advantageous for the Democrats or the Republicans to shut it down because Trump's obviously able to cut funding for a lot of stuff that he doesn't want to fund right now. So I think it's a benefit of the Republicans having the government shut down. Obviously, the American people are they're starting to finally notice that the government is actually shut down, and they're starting to get a little bit angry about it because it is going to start affecting their lives very soon. It's been 34 days now or something.
I think 36 or something.
Dang.
It broke a record, right? I believe.
Oh, yeah, it broke a record. 100%. Yeah. Like, they're going to start noticing it when airlines start not being able to fly, when, there's going to be some major effects very soon. Yeah. So I think the Democrats and Republicans just need to sit down and, I don't know, maybe vote for a clean continuing resolution. Like, that'd be nice. It does. You don't have to add anything onto it. Just keep it clean.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Joe Manchin. He was so good at talking to both sides. I don't think people appreciated him enough, but I like Joe Manchin. I do. I think that he was a good-spirited man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, this is what sucks about the shutdown. You ask someone that just doesn't pay attention to politics, a voter, someone's going to go vote. They don't pay attention to politics. And that's a lot of voters, really. Mm-hmm. You could ask 100 people out on the street, and those 100 people do not pay attention to politics, but they will vote. And you ask them, hey, who do you blame, Congress or Trump, for the government shutdown? 80% of them are going to say Trump because he's the president. That's just how it's wired. It's how it's. And honestly, this might be a chess move that the Democrats did for this election in Virginia, in the 3 states, to get that vote out.
Yo, that's a good point. I didn't think about that because a lot of New Jersey is government workers, right?
Yeah.
No, Virginia is the main one.
Oh, Virginia?
Yeah, it's Northern Virginia, which is like in Fairfax County.
Fairfax.
Yeah,
Loudoun County, and all in that Northern Virginia suburbs and the metro near DC. That's where.
Yeah, Fairfax County. Let me look up the Virginia election last night and see how much she got Fairfax County by.
It's just so much easier to blame the president than it is to blame Congress. If that makes sense. It really shouldn't be that way. That's lopsided. But for people that don't pay attention to politics, it's so much easier to make the president the scapegoat.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, let's see, City of Fairfax.
And I don't know if you noticed, Chuck Schumer today, I think Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries today literally said, hey, Republicans, let's meet. I think it was a 3D chess move that they made. Kudos to them for doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty sick and evil, but, they did it.
I think they did it to get the federal employees out to vote for them in the Northern Virginia area.
Yeah, that's the game of politics. It's a sick world.
I mean, IRS, Sears, all of them did well in the southwest portion of Virginia. Even though
I don't think Sears had a chance anyways, honestly.
2 weeks ago, I thought she did. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And I thought Chiatrelli would win.
I did too, yeah. The polls were closing fast.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be, at the very least, I thought it was going to be pretty close. But didn't he lose by like 10 points?
I think by 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I had Cheryl +4.
Yeah. That was better than mine. I think I said Jack +2, +1. Yeah. I forgot what I said.
And I was way off. I was so hoping that Democrats were moral enough to not vote a guy in who threatened to kill us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything's really going to happen now, but I just find that crazy that they did vote for him.
But that just goes to show you, though, and like I said, I'm not isolating any side, I'm just giving my opinion. But it just goes to show you that that's not a concern for them. Mm-hmm. Political violence isn't a top issue, unfortunately.
I wouldn't even think a guy like that would win. Like, for an example, here's a good example and a good comparison, even though it's way worse. Roy Moore, he was running for Alabama Senate in 2017. There was a bunch of allegations against him for like sexual harassment and stuff. And he lost for Alabama Senate. He was a Republican. But so that's why I kind of thought Jay Jones would lose. Mark Robinson's another good example in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I do think it's important that we do talk about kind of like this it's a very Democrat term to use, but I'm going to use it like dangerous rhetoric. Like when you call people fascists and Nazis,
Yeah.
well, you know what we did to fascists and Nazis.
Yeah, you've got to learn
We
the
killed them.
definition. You've got to learn
Oh,
the definition
well,
before you say
100%. Like Trump is
Yeah.
not a fascist or a Nazi. I mean, it's just facts. He's not,
Yeah.
not at all.
No.
You know, there are fascists and Nazis out there, I'm sure, somewhere. I'm not aware of any mainstream ones. But
that is the thing. When it comes to fascists and Nazis, we don't listen. Like yes, you have somewhat of that freedom of speech, but I'm not going to listen to you.
yeah,
You know, I'm not.
no, exactly. Yeah, but I think when you just call someone, you know, a dangerous fascist Nazi who's going to ruin our country, you know, or like a sexist white supremacist, or you know, they've called all the right wing, even moderate right wingers like Charlie Kirk.
Even
like
Trump has done it though.
No, that's fair. So Trump does use a lot of this, of this wording, but
he usually says like crazed lunatics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
I think there's a very big difference there, because when people hear the word Nazi or fascist, they think, well, what did we do to Nazis and fascists? Oh, we killed them. You know,
Yeah.
so I think that's I think using language like that to describe your political enemies results in things like the Charlie Kirk shooting, and it results in things like, well, because especially like, you know, they call them Charlie a white supremacist, a sexist, like that gets a certain demographic of people to kind of hate him, you know. So I think that's definitely an issue, and I think it's a modern problem that we're seeing in politics is both sides. Like you said, it is coming from both sides in a sense. I think it's coming predominantly from the left, but I will grant that it's coming from both sides. I think it's a major issue. I don't know how we get out of it now. It's kind of one of those things where like you start it and you can't really end it.
It's here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I think it was. I have to get my decades right. I don't know why I'm blanking. I think it was the '60s. Was it the violence of the '60s? I believe. I quote you. You might want to fact check me. There was a decade where there was just political violence left and right. I thought it was the '60s. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, it is the '60s. Yeah, '60s and '70s.
So
kind of like 6-7, but yeah.
Yeah. Here's my thing. It's like it shouldn't have a place in politics. It doesn't have a place in politics.
No.
It's sad.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got to learn what these definitions mean. Dictator. Obviously, Trump's not a dictator. It's a constitutional republic. He was voted in.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You have a group of people. There's a lot of people on the left. Dictator. He's king. Guys, hey, let's learn what that means. And do you guys also know that you didn't hold an open primary?
Yeah, exactly.
That, right? Like you got 4 fingers pointing back at you, you know, or 3. But that we've got to learn what this stuff means before we start using these terms.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think, like you said, it's incredibly hypocritical of them to call him a dictator, and even like, no, he's not a dictator. You know who is a dictator? Like, I don't know, Putin, or like someone else. Like, he is not a dictator. He's being held up in the courts because of the things he wants to do. He's being stopped by Congress, all sort of stuff. He's being stopped by this fourth branch of government, the like endless bureaucracy that's ruining our system. Like, he does not in any sense have absolute power over anything.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't think that a guy that's been indicted, shot at, and, you know, impeached is a dictator.
No, yeah.
Just my observation.
Yeah,
I mean, what's up? Sorry,
yeah.
I was gonna point out how Biden tried to work around the Supreme Court one time, and like they act like Biden did not do any of this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, but yeah, you're right, totally right. Biden didn't he actually say that in an interview? He was like, "Oh, I don't need the Supreme Court's approval for this," or something stupid like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe he like fell asleep and woke up and said he was like, "Oh, I don't need the Supreme Court's approval," you know, or he misread his teleprompter or something. But I don't know. I think they're selectively looking at the examples that are before them.
Yeah.
You know,
one thing I want done, and this is from left field. I just want to say this. It's on my heart right now. The persecution of Christians. It has to stop. It has to stop. You look in Nigeria. I think there's something going on now in Sudan.
Yeah, I heard
Even
about that.
here, you have people death to the Zionism, death to Christians. Like, this must end. You know,
Mhm.
I'm Christian. I should be able to walk out my apartment and feel safe. You
Yeah.
know, and in some of these cities, someone is living in an apartment and they don't feel safe. It's we're not the morals are gone in this country, and it's really sad to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, like what's happening in Nigeria, and I didn't know about Sudan, but I'll definitely look into that. It's really sad because we're looking at like a Muslim government killing Christians for practicing their faith. And like you said, like as a Christian, that really kind of hits me pretty hard because here in America, like we do have a lot more freedoms in terms of religious freedom than like the Africans
Yeah.
do. But like you said, like I'm even starting to notice kind of just the people's opinion has turned against Christians. Christians are thought of as like intolerant, evil,
Yeah.
sexist, racist bigots. And that's just kind of like a general opinion held by most atheists or,
Yep.
you know, we even see like Satanism and Luciferianism like growing in the country, which is something that's never happened before. And I think it's really sad.
Yeah, and I think it was under fact check me on this too. Under the Biden administration, I believe there was a group that was singing hymns outside of an abortion clinic, and they all got arrested.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
This can't
Tennessee, I
happen.
think that's
It was a bunch of grandmas, I'm pretty sure. It
Founding
was.
fathers,
Yeah.
the founding fathers did not they didn't build this nation for this to happen. But I will say, and this is, I guess, a topic for another time. If roles were reversed and that was another religion, it would have been swept under the rug. They would have not gotten in trouble. But I truly believe right now Christians are the most persecuted group in the world. And I know that's a very big opinion to make, but I truly believe that that is the truth.
Yeah, I think it's a concerted effort by
Yeah.
the leaders around the world too. I mean, really, I think something important to remember. I'll speak to the Christians here that are listening. Something that's very important to remember is like place is not our world. They're always going to hate us. They're
Yeah.
always going to despise
They
us.
hate us 'cause they ain't us, baby.
Hey,
my
wait a
God's
minute.
my God's not
Preach.
in the tomb. I'm sorry, I had to say that. My
Preach.
God's not in the tomb. You know, he ain't in
Exactly.
a grave. Sorry, I had
Yeah.
to say that.
Well, no, you're totally right because the message of Christianity is exclusive to Jesus. And I think that especially in like modernity, for some reason, people just don't like that. They're like, it's exclusive. I can't go my own way and find it. You know, so I think it's important to remember like Christians throughout the world for centuries and centuries have been persecuted by the government, by even just like ethnic groups and things like that. So always remember, like we are here in America and we have certain freedoms granted us, but like you said, I mean, these freedoms can be taken away just as quickly as we were given them. You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
so
Yep.
I mean, they could outlaw all religions except for Christianity. You know, like you could see something coming down the pipe maybe in the next 50 years, maybe earlier. Honestly, depending on how quickly this sort of destruction of the United States goes on. You know.
Yeah. Yep. I pray for the people in Nigeria, but you know what? The people with the gun to their head denounce your God, and those that are refusing to, you've got a place in heaven. So
100%.
keep fighting that fight.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so brave of them too to like speak out online, speak
Yeah.
out in
Yeah.
public. Like they could get killed. Like if that's
Yeah.
traced back to them, they could get killed. I
Yeah.
saw a Nigerian pastor was calling on President Trump to save them.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies, he's like, I don't like that. Like, why is a Christian pastor calling on a worldly leader to save him? And I was like, dude, honestly, I don't think it matters if you're calling on a worldly leader to save your congregation from being killed. Like they're just beheading them in the streets.
Yeah.
Like that's horrible. That's barbaric.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
there needs to be military action.
100%.
We
Trump
need to get
threatened to
involved
At the-
because,
send him.
At the
because,
very
yeah, this
least,
has to happen.
at the very least, there needs to be economic sanctions if it continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump
Yep.
like put out a truth social the other day, threatening to he threatened to send the troops into Nigeria.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
South Africa is actually even worse right now, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Might be.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, especially with like kill the Boer and stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that we keep our eye on the rest of the world because like you said, we talked about America first, and we talked about how that is the desire of especially young voters is keep it focused on America, bro. We don't care about the foreign interests. But I do think there's an aspect of that. Like, yeah, personally as a Christian, I do care about my brothers and sisters all over the world being persecuted.
Yep.
And also I think it is important as a kind of we don't want to remain isolated in this world. I'm personally not an isolationist. I think that we should pay more attention to our country here right now, not the other countries.
Yeah.
I think, where was I going with that? Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think here in America, like we kind of like, we're even starting to see it now with like Zoran, Omar Fatah, luckily lost his election in Minneapolis, but like,
oh my gosh,
the Muslims, the Muslims, the Saracens, like we've been in conflict with them for thousands of years. This is simply a continuation of this conflict, and especially it's just so stark in Africa. I mean, honestly, Europe is basically pacified at this point. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the Muslims control a lot of that. Yeah, but here in Africa, like there in Africa, we see these strong Christian communities, these thriving Christian communities, just be wiped out by using violence. I mean, it's something we don't even see in China that often.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think it's important that we do keep our eye on the rest of the world and support our Christian brothers and sisters in places of the world where they're being oppressed and persecuted and killed for their faith. I think it's very important. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good one.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's not talked about. Nobody. The media is not going to talk about it.
No.
Oh yeah.
It needs to be talked about.
Yeah. It's the same thing with like the South Africa thing. Like they just didn't.
I saw the media actually trying to deny that it was happening, and CNN said that Trump was overreacting about it. Did you know that?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all because apparently Christians are radical.
Mm-hmm.
I might be radical for the Lord, but that's okay.
Hey,
what's your guys' opinion on? I know you mentioned isolationism. I used to be a very hardline isolationist. And I'm a little bit less, I still am, and I'm very restrained. I tend to lean toward restrained when it comes to foreign entanglements. But there are some times where it's probably okay.
Right.
But what's your guys' opinion on isolationism?
You want to go first, Seth?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to pull up a tweet. It's from which I'm not Catholic, but I think it was from a bishop or Cardinal Sarah. He was talking.
Yeah, I know.
I just saw that this morning.
I'm trying to find the tweet and quote it, but I'm not isolation to a full extent, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I get the why you would want to because countries aren't holding their weight. I hate to say it, the UK has fallen. Canada's on its way. We are the last hope. I think Australia has fallen as well.
Dude, I've heard some horror stories from Australia about government stuff.
And Sarah, he was talking about the barbarians are already here. And I've been saying that. I think you know what I mean. I'm not going to go into context because some people will find it controversial. I think the enemy is here. I think the enemy is already here. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to go into context, but it's concerning. This is some very concerning things going on, but NATO's not pulling their weight. United Nations, forget it. I mean, they're useless.
No, yeah.
Honestly, I think we should probably leave the United Nations.
I agree. Yeah. So I think my basic stance on isolationism. Whoa, all right, we're having a tough day. All right, I'm cooked. All right, no, we're leaving. No, yeah. So my stance on it really is just that I think I'm fine with having foreign involvement. I think the important thing is clean up your own house before you go and involve yourself in the rest of the world. I think there are certain instances where, like the Manifest Destiny, where we do need to protect our interests in our hemisphere. But I think first off, you really need to deal with your own place. Like I think of the scripture in the Bible where it's like, why do you critique your brother for the speck in his eye when you have a log in your own, So I think it's important that we fix the stuff here in the United States first. I mean, there is a lot to fix here, and we've gone over a lot of it today. Before we start to get involved in foreign wars, before we start funding other people, like as a general rule, I don't think we should be funding other nations. But if we need to, like prop them up just for a little bit to get them going, I'm fine with that. There needs to be a clear end date, and there needs to be I don't think we should just be blanket check supplying Israel with stuff. Same with Ukraine. I think there needs to be very careful consideration. I think that I in the end, I think foreign involvement is inevitable. As the United States, we're one of the most powerful nations in the world, maybe even the most powerful, the most influential. So I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think we just need to go about it in a good way while still caring about our interests here at home.
Yeah, being the greatest country in the world comes with the territory, and it also comes with pride. That pride being, because we're the greatest country, we have to stick our nose in where it doesn't belong. That's just how it is. But it's time that we take a step back, because we have issues here, some glaring issues that we've got to solve. And like you said, we're just sending so much money to these foreign countries, and where's that money going? Is it going to any good? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, 100%. So, Lane, you said you are more restrained.
Yes, I think just like when it comes to Israel, Hamas, Russia, Ukraine, I think any involvement we have should be not escalating it. It should be trying to seek a peace deal, which I think Trump does well. And I think he's pretty good on peace deals. But I think there were some lawmakers telling Trump to send Ukraine some tomahawks or something. I don't think escalating it ever works. But yeah, if we are going to get involved, it should be trying to get a settled agreement between the two countries.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think Trump has done a very good job of settling a lot of these conflicts around the world as they come up. And I think that is the responsibility of the United States in a lot of sense, in a very big sense, because we do provide a lot of things for a lot of the more minor countries. So when Cambodia and who was going to war? Oh, India and Pakistan, when they're going to war. I don't know why I thought Cambodia. That's weird. But when India and Pakistan, they're going to war, we provide a lot of stuff to them. And I think it's totally fine for Trump to withhold that and say, hey, stop fighting, a father would do to his two sons and force them to shake hands and hug. And, so I think it's important that we use that in a moral and just way. I think it's totally moral and just to end wars. I think most people would agree with that. But yeah, no, 100%. I think there are certainly places where we should be involved in foreign issues.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's inevitable in a lot of cases.
Yeah. And that's been a big thing. And that's why people have started to lean isolation, because you look at Afghanistan, Iraq, you look at Vietnam, Korean War. You look at all these wars and you're like, was it necessary? And people start to say, not really. So I'm tired of wars. Why are we going to war? Why are you sending troops to war? We're sick of this. We're sick of all this money going elsewhere. We're sick of leaving tanks and weapons behind in Afghanistan just for them to use it against us. People are sick of it.
Yeah, well, 100%. I think that Americans are kind of starting to wake up and realize that some of our foreign involvement really doesn't benefit us, and a lot of times it doesn't even benefit the countries that we're in. And we're involved in Afghanistan for 20 plus years, and we get out, and what do we have to show for it? Literally nothing. There's nothing. We've actually lost significantly more than what we put in. 100%.
And then was it 13 soldiers just so sad, died, and it was just an embarrassing moment for our country. It showed weakness, great weakness,
No, 100%. And I think that is an issue when we do have kind of this two-party system like we do right now, and how they're just getting farther and farther apart. And so when another party comes into power, like Trump had a perfectly good retreat planned out of Afghanistan, and we wouldn't have lost any supplies. Wouldn't have gone over completely fine. Wouldn't have lost any troops. And then Biden comes in. He's like, no, I'm going to do it my way. I can't use anything Trump's made. I need to do it my way.
Mhm.
So I think it's a major issue we find in this two-party system where everything's so partisan. There's nothing is bipartisan.
No.
Yeah.
In our current political sphere, and it's so sad because we even talked. We're tying everything in together. We talked about this at the beginning. Like so much of our politics nowadays is just political rhetoric. None of it is actually what can I provide the voter.
Yeah.
Because if it was actually what we could provide the voter, we can provide both sides generally can provide the voter some of the same things. Like all voters want costs to go down. All voters want, people to be healthier. There are certainly things that we agree on, but none of that matters because it's all about political rhetoric. It's all about, well, I disagree with Trump. So the second I get into office, I'm just going to completely get rid of everything Trump's done and start fresh. And in the end, that obviously we've seen the consequences of it.
Yeah.
I saw a poll, and I think this kind of reverts back to the partisan shit. It was like 60% of Cheryl voters last night voted to oppose Trump, and that's it.
Yeah.
It was something like that. It was a lot, and I remember seeing it and being
take this
shocked.
government shutdown. You made a great point. What is your? I'm Elijah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's
Oh
Elijah.
my God, that's bad. You made a great point. I almost called you civic mandate. I'm sorry, but you made a great point, and this government shutdown is a great example of that. I know I wasn't alive for it, unfortunately, but I know I'm sure there was a time in the '80s, maybe before that, maybe a little after, where the government shutdown would have occurred, and everybody would have been like, Democrats, Republicans, like, hey, let's meet, let's finish, let's end this, let's get this thing done. We don't want the government shut down. These people, they're working hard, but they don't deserve this. Now it's, how can I make it seem like they did it? How can I make it seem like the Republicans did it? How can I make it seem like the Democrats did it? There's no working together. There's nothing like that, and it's sad.
I mean, even Jared Golden said that Democrats were gaslighting on the shutdown, and he just announced he's not going to run for re-election, but that's separate news. But even like Jared Golden is saying, Fetterman put the blame on Democrats for the shutdown.
I blame both sides. I do. I blame both sides. I blame Democrats for continuing to let it be shut down when you've had 13 chances to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think if you vote 13 times to shut down the government, you can call it the other party shut down.
Yeah,
No,
I just
100%.
don't think you can.
Yeah. Well, so to kind of end it out and for our last question, I think it's important that we do talk about can the split be mended? Can this divide between the left and right? Can we find some bipartisan issues to come together on? Do you guys think this is going to be the undoing of our system here in America? Not to be too doom and gloom, of course. Or do you think we'll be able to work it out and be able to find some issues that we can actually work together on?
In my opinion, the only way we can stop the divide would be, so right now the only people that actually want to stop the divide are like the problem solvers caucus and all them. A lot of the partisan politicians have to want to stop the divide or it's not going to be stopped. Too small of a group of people want to stop the divide and it's not enough.
Yeah. So here's my take on it. I wouldn't say I'm an optimist. I wouldn't say I'm a pessimist. I would say I'm a realist. No, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
Just because the rhetoric is so extreme. We haven't ever reached a point where we thought political violence was okay. And we're there now. I think it only gets worse. This may, honestly, if we're here, this may take 100 years to even, and I just don't see it. I don't see it.
I know I am kind of an optimist, but I mean, I guess I was answering it can. I mean, the divide can. Do I think it will? No, but it could.
Yeah, I think it gets worse, and social media is going to play a big factor in the reason why it won't.
But it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have.
It doesn't. But the thing is honestly, this is my honest take. The only way it could is if Trump goes away completely, and that's sad to say because of how much I like him. He's just so controversial. Some people love him. Some people just absolutely despise him. They're willing to vote a communist to take him down. That is the
Yeah.
only way there's a chance. And if
Mhm.
someone is a successor for him and is just like him or even close to like him, no, it will not happen.
Yeah.
Like Joe Biden, he ran on uniting the country, but the truth is, I mean, obviously he didn't do a very good job of that. He didn't really try to. But even if he did, I don't think presidents have enough time to try to unite the country because of how busy they are.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lane kind of took the more optimist side.
Yeah.
Seth, you took the realist
I
side.
guess
I think
pessimistic.
I'm gonna go a completely different direction. I think this is a crazy wild prediction, and you guys obviously from yesterday, you know how bad my predictions are. So we'll see if this actually means anything. I think we're in the next decade, we're going to see kind of a revolution of some sort, an ideological or social revolution,
Yeah.
where Gen Z, specifically led by Gen Z men, they're going to start a turn for more traditional ways of thinking. They're going to change up the status quo. I think we're going to see completely new political parties. They might still be the same political parties in name, but I think they're going to be very, very different. I think that Gen Z is going to change the ideological preferences of the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. And I think in the end, there's a lot of things that I can agree with my Gen Z counterparts on the other side. We disagree on like very viscerally on some very critical issues, in my opinion. But I do think that there are lots of things we can agree with. The fact that we can't get homes, the fact that cost of living so high, you can't have kids. So
Yeah.
like obviously we disagree on some very major parts.
The school
Like
system sets us up to go to college, but doesn't help
oh,
us.
100%. I think majority of people do recognize like you're not really getting your money's worth from college.
Yeah.
It's like a glorified,
But the
getting a
public school
certificate.
system doesn't prepare you.
No, they
100%.
don't.
So this
They
is
should be more.
this is something I've been hitting on a lot recently. Like high school, modern American high school does not prepare you for real life. It's like a world within of its own. Like
Yeah.
you'll never be in a place like high school except when you're in high school. So it's not really preparing you for the real world. You get out of high school and you're shoved in the real world. Either you're shoved into college or you're shoved into a trade. And this is why we see a lot of people kind of just going downhill the second they hit their 20s. So I think we're going to see a Gen Z revolution. Gen Z is going to take the mantle of leadership. I think that we're going to get all the old senators out of here, the 95-year-old senators, and we're going to take over the leadership position in the United States. I genuinely believe, I mean, like I said, you guys know how bad my predictions are. I genuinely believe that we will be able to preserve America in a different sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I
Here's
mean,
what I think will happen, and
Yeah.
this may be a topic for another time. I'm never trying to scare anybody, doom and gloom. I think what's fixing to take place, I would give it about 5 years to a decade. We're on the brink of a clash that we've never seen before, worse than World War I, World War II, worse than any war ever. You're fixing to see a clash and a war of globalism versus nationalism. It's coming. It's inevitable at this point. I think Trump has opened the door. I like to think of him as the proverbial Molotov cocktail thrown into the establishment. He blew it up and exposed it. It's on its way. Uh, I can't speak on what I think will happen during it. It's going to be devastating. That's what I think would happen before we would see, like Elijah said, and that's a great prediction. But I think we're on the brink of a clash of globalism and nationalism.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna have like a civil war. I think that my one prediction I have, and I've thought this for a long time, that like California, I think a state like that might try to secede from the United States. That's maybe a hot take I have, but
Yeah. I think that's a good way to actually end out the episode on this kind of like I do agree with you, although I do hope that there's maybe a third party in there, not just globalism and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
nationalism.
hope I'm
Maybe
wrong.
maybe there's a bit
wrong,
of
man.
I don't know traditional monarchy. No,
No,
you know,
but truly,
you know,
Elisha, I hope I'm wrong on that. I
yeah.
really do. But
I hope you're
I can
wrong too,
smell it.
just so I can say I'm right. No,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
no,
it's gonna be
100%.
scary. It's gonna be very scary. But
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think I think there's something big coming down the pipe. I think most people have that kind of feeling. They
Yeah.
understand something big is going to come within the next decade.
Yeah.
Something's going to come to head. So I totally agree with you guys. That was a pretty fun episode to record. I'm not going to lie. If you guys like the
Yeah.
video, make sure to tell us down below. Seth, Lane, thank you for joining me.
Hey, thank
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're definitely going to be doing this again. I'm hoping maybe next time we get a live stream up, maybe you guys can throw some stuff off of us. We can answer some questions, maybe start some conversations. So yeah, I had a great time. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe. And of course, have a great day and God bless.